Hello. Trying to actually be on time tonight. Let's see here. Okay. Up and running. Things are good. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay, I wonder if I should mess with that a little bit. Change the angle just a tad. Let's see. There you go. That's a little better. All right, so here we are, Monday night again. Things are a little bit different. Alicia is working on her bags to get ready for her fiber show here in less than 2 weeks, and so she's going to keep working away on that. You may hear the sewing machines and such in the background. Hello, Jason. How's it going, buddy? So if I miss chats or whatnot, I apologize. Sometimes I don't. I read too fast and miss stuff. Then I go back and I'm looking at the video and I'm like, son of a. It's not on purpose. Yes, Jason. 2 weeks. Less than. Anyway. Slightly off. I'm not gonna mess with it. All right. Thanks. It's what we do. Alright, I thought I'd move up this for a second. This super awesome. Hey Bob. Comic art by Dave Finch. It's for a book called Skinbreaker, which is pretty cool. If you get a chance, check it out. It's not that, I mean, it's nothing crazy story-wise, but the art is why I got it. And they put out these treasury editions that are like larger than comic size, and it's like on newsprint. And I don't know, it's just up my alley. Lots of detail and stuff, texture. And Dave like drew like 2 comic pages taped together for each page. So it's pretty awesome. Anyway, that's my placeholder slash go buy comics bit. Yeah, I can see that. Like there's a lot of like visceral texture to stuff that Disney is famous for. Thank you, Jace. Welcome. So tonight, I've been playing, lately I've been playing Diablo IV again, which I have an on and off again relationship with. And so, I'm gonna try to draw Paladin from Diablo IV. And we'll see how it goes. Hope everybody's doing all right this Memorial Day. Actually had today off, which was nice. Yeah, they did Paladin and Warlock for the new expansion, and I remember playing not long after it had first come out, and I was like, man, I really wish they had made a Crusader or Paladin class, and it only took them a couple of years. But hey, at least I got to pay more for it. I don't know. Video games nowadays, man, you pay to complete the game. But the spoiler alert is it's never complete. See if I can get this arm the way I want it. I'm not going for a ton of game accuracy on the armor and costume and whatnot, so the purists can at me in the comments. Hello, Mo. Yes, Bob. Alicia is sewing in the background. I'd mentioned to Jason, like, she's in full sweatshop mode, getting ready for the fiber frolic here in just under 2 weeks, so it's go time. Move this over a little bit. I really like in the trailer for this expansion, Paladin, like, his abilities are like holy lightning kind of looking, so I want to kind of use some of that kind of craziness here. And I may actually, once I get the ink going, use my normal brush and ink in what is probably going to be a few fool's errand, but we're going to do it anyway and see how that reacts to this paper. Madness, I know. Alright, wow, I am way behind. I'm still drawing in the feed I'm looking at, and I've been sitting still for like 30 seconds or more. I haven't even drawn the lightning and stuff. I don't know how the sound is synced up, but it's way behind. So, again, apologies. That's a good excuse for any insanity beyond the norm. So normally you guys see me use a like an auto-filled brush, self-contained brush that has its own reservoir of ink, and it has like a synthetic hair on it. I'm glad it's synced up. So you're gonna see actual brush action tonight that's a little bit different than that kind of thing. Something I'm a little more familiar with. But if you see me not doing anything, it's because I'm dipping the brush off camera. I've noticed my brush has picked up a tendency to split just a tiny bit. But wait a minute now. I promised Paladin. We'll do Paladin. You know that's coming on one of these streams, though. Space Wolf, for sure. And again, sorry if this is bothersome, but I do rotate the page as I ink to get what I need for an angle for a brush flow. It better. I am using a number 1, I believe. The numbers have all worn off the handle. Plus I've covered up part of it with tape for the old carpal tunnel assist. But yeah, I think normally I would use, well, I say normally. In school I was trained on a number 3, I believe. I thought maybe trying a number 1 would make me a little less heavy-handed, but no dice. I still ink how I ink. Imagine that. The thing of it is, honestly, the size of the brush to me, because you can whittle it. I can't show you on here, but if I turn this on the paper as I'm pulling, it sharpens the brush, so to speak. And I think really the size of the brush really comes down to like how much of a reservoir of ink you want to have, between pot filling dips, like when you ink with a tiny brush, Bob, you know this, you do a bunch of little lines or whatever, and all of a sudden you get to reload the brush again. And you do a couple more and you get to reload the brush again. So I'm not really so convinced that it's the fatness of the brush that ends up being an issue, because again, you can taper it as much as you want on your sort of test paper. But that's just my opinion, man. It's just, I think it has to do with just preference, what you're trying to do. Like, are you looking for speed? Are you looking for real fine detail? Do you have to get like a bunch of long flowing lines, or are you looking for a bunch of little ticks of detail? The haunted house door noise is Mama letting out cats. Wow, that was a pretty good one.
What?
As far as like haunted house creaky door noise.
No WD-40 here.
No.
Is this your character?
It could be.
Yeah.
I didn't go for any specific designs. It's not like the same armor he wears or anything.
Looks pretty cool.
Thanks.
Alright, back to the sweatshop.
Yeah, get some work done. Jeez. She's only been working on this all day. But that is her plight until the show. Let's see. Jason says 30-second break is over, lady. Yeah, I do sometimes have, like, I dislike my inks sometimes because I think they're too, like, fat. The lines are kind of clumsy, but I'm getting better, and just, like I said, part of it is the whole trying to see the brush as a collaborator rather than a tool I need to force my will upon, which could also be translated as I just lower my standards and I stress out less about it. Thank you, Christian. Welcome. Alright, let's keep going here. Strap going through here too. The shields. Good stress, good stress is good, bad stress is bad. Funny how that works. Huh? I think stressing out about it is good, right up until it's not, if that makes sense. It's like a sweet spot of I'm stressing to do well, and then it drifts into it doesn't matter what I do, I'm going to stress, and I don't think that's very healthy. But I still do it. to try to do some inking a little bit more black around the weapon and stuff, but I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. Might take me too long. I don't know. Thanks, Mo. In my head, I had a couple of different ways I was going to do this, and some of them were just came off as a little static, like I had him sort of facing us with this arm back holding the spear and the shield kind of in front, which would have been cool and sort of designy, I guess, but very static looking in my head, so I was trying to think of a way to do it that would be a little bit more interesting and dynamic. And such done, and then I'll start working on the effect of the lance, and hopefully it works. But you know, we get to experiment. Fortune favors the bold. Time for non-metallic metal. Jason, you are out of your mind. You guys want to be here until tomorrow morning? I'm assuming that's what you meant. For those not in the know, in miniature painting, a lot of times people will paint metal bits in what's called non-metallic metal, which is basically using colors to simulate metal and shadow, but not using metallic paints. And it's a really cool, interesting technique that I have never tried. This is where a number 3 would come in handy, Bob. And some of this I'll charge up with whiteout. Yeah, I did learn a little bit about simulating metal with like airbrush and whatnot in school, but it's been a while. And I think the good thing to remember, it's like any artistic endeavor really, is there's always a point where you're kind of in the process and it looks like poo, and you gotta just keep going. If you give up then, it's always gonna look like poo. I don't know how many times I've been painting miniatures and been like, I should just give up on this thing and start over, but you keep going and it does usually pan out. Dramatic, yes. What's going to happen inevitably, if I don't plan this out correctly, which I've already screwed up, I'm going to put the heel of my hand right in this stuff and draw something I wasn't intending on drawing. But again, you gotta challenge yourself. But luckily this brush can take it a lot more than the fake brush can. Quote unquote fake brush. Brush pen, there we go. Bob said it earlier and my brain was searching for it all night. Brush thing that's not a brush, yeah. The ink is still wet, it's true. It just fell in a hole and was attacked by bandits. Okay. He's clearly upset about something. Either that or he's just doing fireworks for the kids. That's one of the things they don't tell you about paladins is they do have to tithe to the church, but they also have to do birthday party. He forgot his bard song. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm probably not gonna go all the way to the edge while we're on the stream here, but I'm gonna try to do some fun stuff while everyone's still on board. And I can always go further afterwards. Off camera. IRL, as the kids would say 10 years ago. Yeah, exactly. No pinata can escape the ultimate judgment. Or something. Now I'm thinking right back to that toy fair that I was talking about during D&D about somebody taped over touched by an angel and now the whole universe has to pay. let parts of this dry a wee bit before I do too much, but spreading it out a little bit will help. I think this is where, as far as I'll go for now. Just did it for stylistic choice and brevity. Here for a little while. I'm going to try to hold back my own personal panic for not immediately going to wash my brush. But you guys don't want to sit here and listen to that in the background. So let's get going here a little bit. Where is my fun stuff? Okay. There was a time when I just use a toothbrush, an old toothbrush, and some white ink or white out, and spatter this bad boy. But I don't know what happened to my junk toothbrush, so we're gonna just use twitchy hand movements and my already shakiness, nerves to solve this one. Again, my feed is so far behind where I am right now. People, if you've typed stuff, I just haven't seen it yet. I'm sorry. For some reason it's worse than normal. Yeah, like, see, I see now that there was a whole section of that wasn't even on the camera, so that did not help me. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. See where I am here. Okay. too small. Might be too small. Let's see. There's a couple. Thanks, Jason. I know you wrote that a while ago, but technology. Honestly, I blame AI. Stuff's just getting less good at what it used to do, basically. There's a really great, the trailer for the expansion of Diablo IV, the latest one. There's just a great bit at the end that's an inspiration for this drawing, and I think it actually kind of came, whoever did it was a fan of first edition AD&D, because it looks really a Paladin in hell kind of homage. And it's this kind of thing where there's like giant, stupidly giant Lord of Hatred on the left-hand side of the screen, taking up 75% of the space, and then this tiny paladin figure with this really looks like a lucerne hammer or something made out of just shimmering electrical holy light, and he's getting ready, he's cocking back like he's gonna toss it into the heart of this thing, and super cool looking, in my opinion. Alright, so I'm gonna wait. I'm still drawing in the stream. It's like if I look at my monitor, I'm still doing lightning bolts with my pen. But I'm gonna erase a little bit here selectively, stuff that's like not quite wet. And then we'll do the drawing, and I apologize ahead of time if there's this much of a delay. There's going to be a delay on the guessing, but we'll get through it like we always do. This paper's like, dude, I am a wet paper towel. I don't know what you're trying to do, but stop. Before I cause any more destruction, I'll sign it. Down here. Alright, so this is the point in the stream where we give the sketch away. So, I am going to roll a 10-sided die, and the first person to correctly guess what I've rolled wins the sketch. So again, I'm way behind on the screen, but I'm just going to go for it like it's real time, because that's how you'll experience it. So when I say you are going to type a guess between 1 and 10 in the chat, whoever guesses first wins. Go ahead. It's It's not a 7 or a 3. I'm still drawing in the stream. It's not a 9, Chris. Not a 3. Still. Sorry, not a 5, not a 1. Not a 2. Not a 10. This is one of those every number but kind of thing, probably by the end of it. Maureen, you have won. Congratulations, it was a 6. So there you have it. Maureen takes home the juice again. I'll probably do a little bit more on it just before I mean, you won't see it for 6 months anyway, but let's be realistic. But yeah, make sure it's in there. The final frame here is most of it. Can zoom out. Let me see if I can zoom out just a little bit. No. There. That's closer to the whole thing. You're welcome, of course. Thanks for stopping in and keeping me company while I battle aimlessly and doodle slightly less aimlessly. But that's what I do. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, everybody. I'm gonna call it a night, and we'll do it again next Monday. So thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys next week. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and all the things that you've probably already done, but still, in case you haven't, please do so. Have a good night.